Hey everyone, are you ready to dive deep into John Wick Chapter 4? We're going to try to unpack as much of it as we can today.
Yeah.
For this deep dive, you guys know the drill.
Back here.
So let's jump right into it.
Okay.
John Wick Chapter 4 opens up with, I think, one of my favorite openings for any of the John Wick movies.
Oh, really?
We see John Wick training.
Yeah, he's punching that...
That wooden post.
Yeah, that big wooden post.
That's just so brutal, you know? He's clearly still grieving. He's working through a lot of pain.
I think that's one of the things that makes John Wick such a compelling character. You know, he's this incredibly skilled assassin, but he's also deeply human.
Right, and you see that humanity come through in those moments.
Literally.
And then he gets that fresh new suit from the Bowery King.
Oh, yeah, the suit. What a great symbol.
Right. What do you think the suit represents in this context?
Well, on one hand, you've got the brutal training, like he's preparing for war. But then there's the suit, this symbol of refined elegance.
That's interesting.
Almost like he's clinging to a sliver of his old life.
Yeah, like a reminder of who he used to be.
Exactly, while gearing up for something truly savage.
It's like he's trying to reconcile these two sides of himself, the ruthless Baba Yaga and the man who just wants peace.
Peace, yeah, right?
But peace is hard to come by in John's world.
Especially with the high table breathing down his neck.
You're telling me. We see him confront the elder in the desert, demanding his freedom.
Yeah.
And the elder basically tells him, freedom, you'll find that in death. It is. What do you think that line tells us about the world John Wick is trapped in?
I think that line from the elder really sets the tone for the entire film, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally.
It highlights the impossible situation John finds himself in.
Yeah.
He's trapped in this world of assassins, and the only way out might be death.
Man, that's heavy stuff.
It is.
And that theme of entrapment is further emphasized when the Continental, John's sanctuary, is destroyed.
Whoa, the destruction of the Continental.
When I saw that in theaters, I was like,
Yeah.
No way, there goes the last safe haven.
It's a powerful moment for sure.
It is. It's like that was the one place he could go to find some semblance of peace, and it's just ripped away from him.
And it really shows how far the high table is willing to go to maintain their control.
Right. And then we're introduced to the Marquee, this ambitious, ruthless figure who embodies the high table's absolute authority.
Oh yeah, the Marquis is a great villain.
Isn't he? I mean, he's just so cold and calculating.
And he doesn't hesitate to break the rules, which adds a whole new layer of tension to the story.
Absolutely. And the actor who plays him, Bill Skarsgård, does such a phenomenal job. He's so menacing.
Definitely. And he's got those crazy eyes too.
Oh yeah, those eyes. They just pierce right through you.
Like he can see into your soul.
I mean, he does not hesitate to do whatever it takes to achieve his goals.
Which makes him a very formidable adversary for John.
He really does.
And on a more personal note, the film acknowledges both Karen's death and the passing of Lance Reddick,
Oh yeah.
which adds a layer of poignancy to the events.
Yeah, I mean, those are both huge losses, both for the characters and for us as viewers.
Definitely.
I mean, I still can't believe Lance Reddick is gone. He brought so much gravitas to the role of Sharon.
Yeah.
And it's just a reminder of the stakes involved and the fragility of life.
Even in this heightened world of assassins.
Right, exactly. Because even though it's this fictional world, the emotions feel very real.
They do.
And you really feel the weight of those losses. So the film introduces some new characters like the Tracker and Kane, each with their own unique skills and motivations.
What's fascinating is how it draws parallels between Akira and John.
Yeah.
Both bound by codes of honor and loyalty, but caught in the crossfire of the high table's machinations.
It's like they're both fighting against fate, trying to maintain their integrity in a world that constantly pushes them towards violence.
That's a great way to put it.
I mean, the whole movie is like this big metaphor for how hard it is to escape the things that are trying to pull you down.
It really is.
And that conflict between personal codes and the brutal reality of their situation really comes to a head during the action sequences at the Osaka Continental.
Oh man, those action sequences were insane.
Oh no, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Akira is such a badass.
She is.
Her skills as an assassin are incredible.
Yeah.
But you also see her loyalty to her father, Shimazu.
And speaking of Shimazu,
Yeah.
his decision to protect John, defying the high table, it echoes Winston's own rebellious actions in previous films.
It's like there's this recurring theme of defying authority, even if it means risking everything.
And it's not just about rebellion.
No.
There's also a strong sense of loyalty and honor at play. Right.
Exactly. Both Shimazu and Winston demonstrate that loyalty and principle can exist even in the darkest corners of this world.
Yeah.
They're willing to stand up for what they believe in.
And that takes courage, especially when you're up against a force as powerful as the High Table.
Oh, definitely.
And the stakes just get higher and higher when John eliminates the Elder.
The bounty on his head skyrockets.
It's like the whole world is out to get him.
I mean, you can't really blame them, right? He did just kill an elder.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying he was wrong to do it.
No.
But it definitely paints a target on his back.
Definitely. And the film effectively conveys this escalating chaos through its visuals.
Right.
We see a shift from close combat to more elaborate and destructive action sequences.
It's like the world itself is becoming more volatile.
Yeah, like a reflection of John's inner turmoil.
Exactly, and you see him push to his limits, both physically and mentally.
Oh, he's definitely going through it in this film.
Yeah, but amidst the chaos, there are these quieter moments that reveal John's humanity, like his journey to Berlin and the encounter with his family.
Oh yeah, that was a powerful scene.
What did you make of that scene?
That scene is crucial for understanding John's past and the forces that still hold sway over him.
Yeah, you really get a sense of the life he left behind and the family he's trying to reconnect with.
It's a world built on power, betrayal, and conditional love.
Yeah, and it's a stark contrast to the love he shared with Helen.
That's true.
It really highlights the loss that he's still carrying with him.
Definitely.
And his desire to break free from the High Table seems intertwined with his need for resolution with his family.
Yeah, you can see that.
The card game showdown and the brutal club fight aren't just about eliminating the kingpin.
No.
They're about John proving his commitment to his family.
And earning a chance at redemption.
Exactly, but is redemption even possible in this world?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is, and it's something we'll continue to explore as we dive deeper into this film.
Sound good.
So let's take a quick break and we'll be right back with more of our deep dive into John Wick Chapter 4.
Welcome back.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about some of the recurring symbols and themes that run throughout John Wick Chapter 4.
Right.
One thing that always stands out to me is John Wick's suits.
The suits.
They're more than just clothes, right?
Oh, absolutely. The suits are a fascinating visual representation of John's internal struggle.
I like that.
Think about the precision and craftsmanship involved in making a suit like that.
Yeah.
It mirrors John's meticulous approach to his work as an assassin.
He's all about efficiency
And control,
and a certain code of conduct.
even amidst the chaos.
It's like the suit is both a reminder of his past life as a sophisticated killer and a shield he wears to protect himself from the emotional fallout of that life.
Exactly. The suits allow him to compartmentalize, to separate John Wick the Baba Yaga from the man who loved Helen and just wants to be left alone.
It's like he's trying to keep those two worlds separate.
Yeah, and then you've got those gold coins that are used as currency throughout the film.
Oh, the coins. I always found those so interesting.
Yeah.
They're not just money, right? They seem to represent something more.
They do. It's like a twisted reflection of our own society's obsession with wealth and power.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Everything has a price in this world, whether it's loyalty, information, or even a life.
It's a pretty bleak commentary
It is.
on how power and influence often trump morals and ethics.
And it makes you wonder, are we really that different? We might not use gold coins,
Right.
but don't favors, connections, and social media clout hold a similar kind of currency in our world?
It's a thought-provoking parallel, for sure.
And speaking of thought-provoking, let's talk about the religious imagery that pops up throughout the film.
Okay.
All the churches and cathedrals. What do you think the significance of that is?
Churches are traditionally places of sanctuary and redemption,
Right?
but in John Wick's world, they become battlegrounds.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the filmmakers are highlighting the corruption of those in power.
Those who claim to uphold moral values while engaging in brutal acts of violence.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
pretty bold statement.
It is. Using these sacred spaces to stage some of the film's most intense action sequences.
It forces us to confront the dissonance between what these places represent and the reality of the world John Wick inhabits.
Right, the contrast is stark.
And let's not forget the dogs.
Oh, the dogs.
John's relationship with his dog is central to his emotional arc, and we see other characters, like the tracker, display a deep connection to their canine companions as well.
Yeah, it's like the dogs represent a glimmer of humanity.
In this dark and violent world,
They embody loyalty, unconditional love, and a connection to something beyond the endless cycle of killing.
they also serve as catalysts for change.
Oh, definitely.
Remember, John's original quest for revenge was sparked by the loss of his puppy.
Yeah.
And the tracker's decision to save John's life is partly influenced by his own bond with his dog.
It's amazing how these animals can have such a profound impact on the characters and the story itself.
It's like they represent this pure, innocent form of love.
Yeah.
That even the most hardened killers can't resist.
And they remind us that even in the darkest of places, there's still hope for compassion and empathy.
I love that. And speaking of visually striking elements, the neon-drenched landscapes in Osaka and Berlin create such a unique atmosphere.
Oh, yeah, those visuals were stunning.
I know. I was blown away by the cinematography in this film.
Those vibrant colors and neon lights elevate the action and give each city a distinct personality.
Osaka feels almost otherworldly.
Right.
While Berlin has a more grounded, gritty vibe.
Yeah, the visual design is a feast for the eyes.
It is.
And adds a layer of depth to the world building.
And it makes you feel like you're really there, immersed in these environments.
Totally. And the music.
Oh, yeah, the music.
It's fantastic. A blend of pulsating electronic beats, orchestral scores, and even some classic rock.
It creates a sonic landscape that's as dynamic and exciting as the visuals.
The music plays a vital role in setting the tone and pacing.
Right.
The electronic tracks heighten the tension during action sequences, while the orchestral pieces add a sense of grandeur and emotion.
Yeah, and that use of classic rock during the car chase scene, pure genius.
It's so much fun.
I know. It injects a sense of fun and energy into the mayhem.
Exactly.
That Grand Prix scene is a prime example of how the film blends different elements, action, music, visuals, to create a truly unforgettable cinematic experience.
It's a masterclass in action filmmaking.
It really is, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire time.
But let's shift our focus back to John Wick himself for a moment.
Okay.
We see him pushed to his absolute limits in this chapter.
He's definitely going through it.
What does his journey tell us about his character arc?
I think it's all about confronting his past, seeking a way out of this life of violence.
And ultimately finding some semblance of peace.
Right. He's no longer the seemingly invincible force we saw in the earlier films.
He's vulnerable.
He's tough.
And he's searching for something more than just revenge.
He's carrying the weight of all the lives he's taken.
You can see the toll it's taken on him.
Both physically and emotionally.
Yeah, his relationships with other characters like Winston and the Bowery King become crucial during this chapter. Their support, even when it comes with risks, gives John a sense of purpose.
And reminds him that he's not alone in this fight.
Exactly. And it's interesting how even his enemies, like Kane, display a certain level of respect and understanding towards John.
Yeah.
They recognize his skill and his adherence to his code.
Even as they're trying to kill him.
It speaks to the complexities of this world.
And the characters who inhabit it.
There are shades of gray everywhere.
Yeah.
And the lines between friend and foe are constantly blurred.
It's not just about good versus evil.
Right.
It's about survival, loyalty, and the struggle to maintain one's humanity in a brutal and unforgiving environment.
And John's decision to challenge the Marquee to a duel, knowing full well the potential consequences, is a testament to his courage.
And his unwavering commitment to finding a way out, even if it means risking everything.
The duel becomes a symbol of his inner struggle, a fight for his very soul.
Oh, I like that.
It's a chance for him to break free from the chains that bind him to this world.
Yeah.
And to find a path to redemption, even if it comes at a great cost.
But we'll delve deeper into that in the final part of our deep dive, exploring the implications of the duel and its aftermath, as well as the film's broader commentary on society and the systems of power that shape our lives. Okay, we're back.
Back for round 3.
For the final round of our John Wick Chapter 4 deep dive.
I know. I can't believe we're already here.
Time flies when you're having fun dissecting action movies, right?
It really does.
So we've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, we have.
From the heart-stopping action to the symbolism woven throughout the film.
All those hidden layers and meanings.
But now I want to kind of zoom out and talk about the bigger picture, you know?
Yep.
What kind of statement is this movie making about power, control, and the systems that govern our lives?
It's a great question.
Because on the surface, you've got this stylish, action thriller.
Right.
But there's definitely a deeper layer of social commentary at play here.
Oh, sure.
I mean, the High Table.
Yeah, the High Table.
That shadowy organization pulling the strings in the assassin underworld.
Those guys creep me out.
They operate above the law, dictating the rules and enforcing them with brutal efficiency.
And no one can touch them.
It's like they represent this global elite.
Untouchable.
Unaccountable.
Their power seems absolute.
And their reach extends into every corner of this world.
Which makes you wonder, right? How do these systems of control maintain their grip on society?
What are the consequences of unchecked authority?
And how do individuals navigate those systems?
Right. Like, do they conform?
Rebel.
Try to find some kind of middle ground.
John Wick, I think, seems to represent the individual struggling against a system that feels designed to crush him. Definitely, he wants out.
But he's trapped by the consequences of his past actions.
It's like he's constantly being pulled back in.
Into this cycle of violence.
Even when he's yearning for something more.
His fight becomes this metaphor for the challenges we all face when confronting those systems that feel bigger than us.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It makes you think about the limits of individual action and the sacrifices required to break free.
And the film doesn't shy away from showing the brutal consequences of that struggle.
No, it does not.
There's a lot of bloodshed.
So much bloodshed.
A lot of loss.
In a sense that even victory comes at a steep price.
Even John Wick
The Baba Yaga.
is shown to be vulnerable,
He's weary.
bearing the scars of all the violence he's endured.
I think Keanu Reeves did a great job of conveying that weariness, that exhaustion.
Yeah,
Because even though John Wick is this legendary assassin,
right.